Hello and happy Tuesday, everybody. Here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Now. There's a marine biologist out of the Brunswick area who says that a whale helped protect her from a shark. Amazing video. We will have the story.
Plus, are you wondering why your power bill is all of a sudden suddenly so high? We have the answer.
And put this all together. The Kardashians, a lawsuit, and the Lobster Festival in Maine from a few years ago. We'll tell you about that.
This is News Center Now.
It's like, wow, did I go up $424?
Hundreds of dollars in unexpected electric costs, and some of you asked the Now team to investigate.
We will have that story in just a little bit. Before we get started, we're going to take advantage of the fact that we were able to turn the heat down a little bit the past couple of days. What is that?
And the windows were rolled down too. Keith, beautiful out there today, right?
That might have been just you, Lindsay, with the windows. But yes, it was relatively nice today. It's crazy how 38, 39 degrees feels after such an Arctic stretch. Temperatures right now in the mid-30s along the coastline, 20s in the mountains, and tonight will be colder than last night when we were in the 20s for the most part. Take a look at last night's lows, 28 in Portland, 21 in Rockland. When you set up at that level, you obviously have a much better chance of getting to reasonable warmth during the day. Tonight will be in the teens along the coastline, single digits in the mountains. Pretty clear tonight, but unlike the last 2 weeks, we won't radiate all of our heat out from the daytime, so temperatures will be cool, but only seasonably so. Tomorrow looks like a good day. Temperatures will be in the mid and lower 30s for most of us under mostly sunny skies. Thursday is mild. Temperatures start pushing now into the 40s by Thursday afternoon, upper 40s in spots. There'll be a couple of isolated sprinkles around. And then Friday, there'll be rain, but temperatures in the 50s. It's not Friday I'm worried about, though. It's Saturday when we get some cold air trying to return along with a big storm system. Guys, the signature is still there for some icing over the weekend, specifically Saturday. We'll talk about what that could really mean for the forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Keith, thank you very much. And before we get to some of our other stories, we'll take a look at some of our top news stories of the day.
That's right. A husband and wife were found dead inside their home in the town of Temple this afternoon. According to a public safety spokesperson, a man inside the home called 911 this morning, threatening to shoot himself. Police say they tried to talk with the couple but broke into the home after getting no response. Officials say Thomas and Michelle Massey died from gunshot wounds. We will have a live update coming up at 5:30.
Governor LePage has signed his second emergency declaration to make sure Mainers will get their heating oil delivered. Federal regulations limit how long delivery drivers can be on the road. This declaration will allow drivers to bypass those limits to deal with the ongoing demand for delivery days.
All right, you ready for this sweet story? Maine is about to have another Krispy Kreme location. The city of Auburn says the donut shop will open at 6 o'clock in the morning in just under 2 weeks. When the Saco store opened last fall, people waited in line for hours to get the hot baked goods.
And sticking with the sweet stuff, New England Dunkin' Donuts customers may have seen their favorite items disappear from the menu. The coffee and donut chain announced that it is cutting 10% of the menu, including some sandwiches, smoothies, and muffins. Dunkin' says ditching these orders will make the service faster and the menu healthier. The company also announced that it removed artificial dyes from their donuts. And don't worry, the company has no plans to change what's going on with the coffee.
I love my dunks.
You are not alone. That would make people so mad if they messed with the coffee.
My coffee is it's more like half and half with a splash of coffee. It's mostly cream, an excuse to drink the cream.
My coffee is just caffeine through an IV. I have children, so that's how it works.
That's what I have to look forward to. Great. Well, a woman from Maine says a whale tried to protect her from a shark. This stunning encounter caught on this video you see here coming up on Now.
And we have uncovered a lawsuit claiming that the Kardashian sisters assaulted someone with a lobster in Maine. Yes, we will get to the bottom of this wacky story. Oh, Katie Ortiz is so excited. It's coming up.
A swing
swing and a miss for H&M after they pushed out a racist ad that caused an uproar and even lost them a brand wrap. Hey guys, I'm Katie Ortiz with your Social Stop. You may have seen this ad already featuring a black boy in a sweatshirt that uses a racial slur. Front and center, it says, "Coolest monkey in the jungle." Meanwhile, a white boy wears a sweatshirt that says "survival expert" with the image of a tiger. Now, a number of celebrities slammed the retailer online. R&B singer The Weeknd took no time to drop the company he collaborated with last year. He said in a tweet he woke up shocked and embarrassed by the photo and was deeply offended. H&M said in a statement, "We understand that many people are upset about the image. We who work at H&M can only agree. We are deeply sorry that the picture was taken, and we also regret the actual print. It is obvious that our routines have not been followed properly. This is without any doubt. We will thoroughly investigate why this happened to prevent this type of mistake from happening again." Now, H&M said they removed the picture and are no longer selling the hoodie, but NBC News found it still being sold overnight Tuesday on their website, on their Spanish website, sorry. Now, riddle me this, friends. What do the state of Maine, the Kardashians, and a lobster all have in common? Well, I'll tell you what, a lawsuit that was filed way back in 2012. Now, before I get into it, someone tipped us off to this recent tweet from a BuzzFeed reporter who also has a fabulous first name. Katie Natopoulos says this is an actual lawsuit someone filed against Kim and Khloe Kardashian and their mom, Kris Jenner. Well, we found the court documents, and it is real, you guys. A man who went by the name of Jonathan Kimberly claimed he was at the Maine Lobster Festival back in August of 2011 when Kim allegedly assaulted him with a lobster that pinched his nose. Then he says she hit him with a frying pan filled with sea scallops. Court documents say he sued them to prevent the alleged assault from airing on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Now, the lawsuit was deemed frivolous and dismissed, and the judge pointed out other allegations across the country from this guy with fake names and fake addresses, even insinuating he may be mentally unstable. Now, we asked the BuzzFeed reporter how she found this years later. She says she was looking for a different lawsuit, but couldn't let this one go by, you guys. Kind of weird.
Very interesting.
That was something.
Yep. A crustacean controversy. Sorry, I had to. Okay, well, if you had sticker shock after looking at your most recent power bill, you're not alone.
Yeah, we heard from so many of you who are wondering why your CMP bill looked like it was maybe double than what it usually is.
Christina Rex has the answer.
Vicki Johnson has been a loyal CMP customer for 38 years. She's been on a consistent budget payment plan for as long as she can remember.
We're 24.
Which is why a bill double her normal price threw her for a loop.
Being whammed with this double bill.
Vicki says she's meticulous about paying her bills every month.
What I do when I'm paying bills is I just go through the pile, write the checks, send them out. Never thought about the electric bill because it wasn't in my pile.
She took her confusion to Facebook and posted in a popular Midcoast forum.
My comment is right here.
Vicki discovered she wasn't alone.
Then I'm seeing all kinds of people going, "We didn't get a bill, we didn't get a bill."
It turns out Vicki never received her December bill until the beginning of January.
At first I thought, okay, new kitten, probably got into the desk, knocked over my bills, and it's gone somewhere, it got lost. But we went all through the desk area, couldn't find one.
Within a week's time in January, Vicki received two bills, a $212 bill for December and a $424 bill for outstanding balances from both December and January. On her fourth call to CMP, she got her answer.
And I just still don't understand why it took until January 3rd before I got my December bill.
So why the double bill mix-up? A CMP spokesperson says it's the result of a new customer care system that was launched this fall. It caused a hiccup in many customers' billing cycles. And for those 500 customers on that Smart Pay plan, the company intentionally delayed their bills to make sure they were accurate. That's why customers like Vicki received two bills in a short period of time. She's relieved to have an answer, but worries for others who might be affected.
I'm seeing single moms. My sister and my mom live together in a single apartment alone, and I know this is going to impact them a lot.
In South Thomaston, Christina Rex, News Center, Maine.
Now, there was some speculation that maybe CMP was just charging more to make up for costs that were incurred during overtime and all the damages from the windstorm back in October.
Right. Still, others were just wondering why their bills were so high, and CMP had some answers. We'll share it with you now. First, the company says it has not begun to recover costs related to the windstorm. Sorry, Lee, I just hit your iPad. I talk a lot with my hands. They also say costs go up in the winter because of electric heat or leaving the lights on as the nights get longer.
Stand over here, it's a little bit safer.
The Italian in me is coming out.
Video of her encounter with a humpback whale is going viral. You guys are going to want to see this. We'll talk to the marine biologist from Maine who says this creature may have saved her from a shark attack. It's incredible.
And can we celebrate the end of the cold snap? Not so fast. Keith Carson's full forecast is next. Welcome back, everyone. There's a growing and somewhat controversial new health trend. You might have heard of it. We all know about the benefits of drinking water, but would you ever drink water that is unfiltered and untreated?
It's called raw water, and it's gaining popularity, and one company in Maine is a huge part of that movement. Chris Costa introduces us to Tourmaline Springs and explains why the founders say that it is a higher quality H2O.
This is what most people think of as raw water, untouched by human hands or machines. This is also raw water.
You're looking at the eye of the dragon, and this is like the Holy Grail.
Unfiltered, untreated, both unnecessary, according to CEO Brian Pullen.
This is Mother Nature in her purest form.
Pullen and his business partners formed Tourmaline Spring, a company that bottles pure groundwater from Summit Spring in the town of Harrison.
You notice when you leave here, go to some of these other states, and we have real water issues. Maine is blessed with a lot of natural water.
They consider it liquid gold, containing fewer chemicals and more beneficial minerals.
We're water creatures, right? Your blood is 93% water. How can ultra pure water, naturally pure water like this, not cleanse you?
The Maine CDC requires any public entity or bottling facilities to treat its water to meet quality standards. But if tests show the water naturally meets those standards, the CDC does not require treatments.
It doesn't mean that drugs.
The Maine CDC confirms that Tourmaline Spring meets those requirements.
This water exceeds every federal and state guideline for drinking water straight from the ground.
Needless to say, I had no choice but to try it.
Finish it. Don't just do that little bit.
I know it'd be rude to.
This is the purest thing you're putting in your body since you've been alive.
They produce 35 million gallons a year, but can only bottle less than 0.5% of it because of a lack of customers and no place to store the extra water. It's literally money going down the drain at a rate of $4 per second. But they believe there's a future in this unique product.
It's going to be an esoteric brand on a small scale for people that really care about their health and wellness. This, other than breathing air, it's the most important thing you can pay attention to. It's the foundation of all health.
The risk of not doing it. That's like water treatment. If you have...
And we're back. The cost for the water is $1.50 for a typical 16.9 ounce bottle. Tourmaline Spring owns the patent for the term raw water and says other companies have tried to claim that they produce a similar product, but that is not true.
And there isn't a whole lot of research done about the benefits of raw water, but the CDC says water treatment is one of the greatest public health achievements of the 20th century.
And there's no one I want to talk to more right now than this man. So what say you, raw water?
I feel like we're going backwards in history at this moment. Like, we should just start building castles again. Like, people are going to get dysentery and stuff.
Moats.
What are we doing? This is crazy. There's nothing wrong with like normal water that you get. Like, all right, whatever. Fine. Go drink some raw water. People get, like, waterborne diseases are huge.
Right.
Like, that's a big reason that people got sick in the olden days. You know?
I'm paranoid too of my water in general. I always like to have a Brita or some kind of filtered water, and I'm very picky about that.
You can drink like glacial water and stuff, but
I just was so happy you were here when that story ended. That's all.
What is happening?
Just getting out of the way.
What is happening?
The KC Express coming through.
We're putting a
moat. Raindrops.
We're gonna put a moat around the weather office. That's where we're at in human history right now. All right. 39 in Rockland today, 39 in Portland. It's amazing how warm these temperatures felt. Tonight, though, dropping back down in the single digits, teens along the coastline. Not brutal like we saw the last 2 weeks, but colder than last night. Clear out there right now. We had a couple of snow showers. Those have dissipated. And tomorrow will be a nice sunny day. So good looking day tomorrow. Temperatures a little bit cooler than today, but around 32 to 35 degrees should do it. And then Thursday, we get warmer than that. We get into the mid and upper 40s with just an isolated sprinkle around on Thursday. We're in the warm sector at this point, so the cloudiness will increase, but so will the temperatures. You can see there in the 40s before rain arrives on Friday. So Friday will be a rainy day, but it will be a cleanup day. Yeah, I was talking to Lee before about how there's certain parts of your driveway and sidewalks you will never recover without days like this. And we're going to be in the low 50s with rain. Not a pretty day, but there will be some cleanup that goes on there. After that, we're watching Saturday. There's still an ice signature in place on Saturday. The real question at this point, is it a coastal event or is it the interior and mountain event? That's what we really have to kind of narrow down. And we have plenty of time to still do that, obviously, as we're several days away. My initial thoughts on the greatest ice threat zone, though, is kind of the usual suspects. But we will include Augusta, into Lewiston as well, into Freiburg and into the mountains of New Hampshire, and then up into Millinocket and Bangor. A lesser chance of significant icing along the coastline, but I don't want to totally rule that out just yet. I just feel that this is the zone for the highest ice threat, and it could be a significant amount of ice accretion on Saturday, so we'll keep an eye on that. That's the biggest day to watch here. Sunday, back to snow showers. Monday and Tuesday look okay, but cooler before we warm up late next week again. And in case you're wondering, Lee, and I know a lot of people are, Patriots game should be fine. It should be rain to start, and they may actually clear out in time for the game, which is, I think, 8 or 8:15.
All right, sir, thank you very much. So by now, you've probably seen this unbelievable video of a marine biologist swimming with a humpback whale. So cool.
That's right. And she lives in Maine. Today, she told Tennyson Coleman why she believes the animal saved her life.
In this video that has now gone viral, Nan Hauser of Brunswick, Maine, has an encounter that most people will never have in their life.
I just hopped in the water and there were two whales there, and one of them just came right for me, and that was fine because they just go past you most of the time.
She comes face to face with a humpback whale in the South Pacific.
He didn't go past me, he put me on his head, and I was like, what? What are you doing? And then he spun around and he put me on his chin, and then I slid down his back and his tail, and I thought, what's going on? I'm going to be killed.
Hauser, a veteran marine biologist who specializes in studying whales, says she was confused by this whale's behavior.
And he kept rolling around and he kept putting his eye right next to me, and his eye was huge, and I could see the whites of his eyes, and he was trying to tell me something. I know he was. And then he kept trying to tuck me under his pectoral fin, and I knew that if I let him do that, I would drown. And so I kept trying to get away and get away and get away.
Terrifying for even the most experienced diver, but there was something lurking even deeper below the surface.
I didn't know until I saw the shark, and that was about 10.5 minutes into the encounter.
Hauser says the whale protected her from a shark inside the water.
It's the first situation where it's been documented that a whale has actually saved a human.
An encounter this Mainer will forever be grateful for.
I just feel so honored, and even though it was a crazy experience and I was scared and I thought I was going to die afterwards, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I still can't stop thinking about it.
She says we humans have something we can learn from that one selfless humpback whale.
They will risk their life to save another life, and I don't know many animals that do that. I just think that quality is something that we need to adopt into all of our lives.
I'm sorry, I love you too.
For News Center, Maine,
I love you too, I do.
I'm Tennyson Coleman.
I love you.
Amazing video. We were chatting with our Facebook audience, so I can't wait to go back and take a closer look.
Yeah, that was pretty cool stuff.
Very good. All right, Cindy Williams is back, and we're talking about what's coming up later on 5:30.
Boy, lawmakers in Maine really hit the ground running this year. They are taking on how to implement the legalization of marijuana. This has not been an easy process. We'll tell you what they're agreeing on and what they're just not finding agreement on coming up next. And these siblings are now teammates thanks to a rule change for the upcoming Winter Olympics. Those stories and much more ahead at 5:30.
All right, thank you very much. We'll look for that. So, on this day, 20 years ago, we had line workers and crews all spread out throughout the entire state trying to get Mainers reconnected after the awful ice storm.
That's right, and after our coverage aired of reminiscing on the historic ice storm of '98, we heard from a female telephone line worker who says there are so many unsung heroes from that event, and she opened up with me about that role, that job, as a female.
Some men don't think that women can do this job.
Karen Polkinen was a line worker with Bell Atlantic the year of the historic ice storm. Not long before the storm hit, Karen was promoted from telephone operator to line worker. But first, she had to pass pole climbing school,
which was a very tough thing because I was the only female in the state of Maine at the time. I'm sure, you know, I wasn't the first, but I was the pioneer of a female doing typically a man's job.
New to this physically demanding job, she sought guidance from veteran line workers around her.
And they couldn't hold my hand anymore. This ice storm gave you more experience than any test, any book you could read, because you saw things that you'll never see again.
15 hours a day for more than 60 days straight, she went back out with the crews repairing hundreds of broken poles.
It was really difficult on my daughter.
Long hours taking a toll on her main job, mom.
She was in 2nd grade at the time. Miss Barabee at Holy Cross said that Callie had come in and said, "Miss B, I'm an orphan," because the poor little thing, you know, she wasn't in her house, she was at her grandparents at first.
She says the unsung heroes of the '98 ice storm were the tree workers and the telephone company crews that were out there alongside those power crews. It was months, almost May, after the storm when her life returned to normal. KK, as she's known, keeping a tough front through it all.
I never let them see me cry. I cried in my car. I held the tears till the way home, but it was a challenge.
Amazing story. All right, we're back with Brain Drops. More Keith when we come back.
Just what we
All right, today's Brain Drops is about, you know those little micro beads that you have in face wash sometimes? They were briefly in toothpaste as well. Just little pieces, they're actually little pieces of plastic. Well, the UK just did a sweeping ban and enforced it starting today. The United States actually passed a bill on this last year, but it's kind of like a rollout, so you don't have to eliminate them immediately, but they're starting to. The problem with these is they're so small that they go down into the drain. They get past water filtration systems that are run by cities and states, and they actually found hundreds of thousands of these per mile in the Great Lakes. So they know they're staying intact, and we're basically just putting plastic into the environment. So there are lots of other ways to exfoliate your beautiful skin, Lee. You can use
I haven't washed
sugar.
my face in years. It's not a problem.
Yes, it's true. I thought it was interesting. I knew they were bad. I didn't know exactly why, though.
Interesting.
Well, we'll keep talking off the air, but we got to go. News Center 5:30 starts right now.